Hi there. If you think this video is lame, wait till you find out that I filmed it all in one take already, and then realized there were a couple of bullet points I forgot to mention, and decided to redo the whole thing. That's how much effort I put into this long-winded rambling that you're about to endure. So, I thank you for tuning in, though. I hope you'll stick around, because aside from the main story that is germane to me and me alone, relevant to me and me alone, and maybe a few people that know me really well, there are some universal takeaways that I hope you will appreciate and will take with you after you watch this. So it's story time, and it's really my life story. It's a story of how I got to be who I am today and where I am today, and why I'm here today. So let's rewind the clocks to the year 2006. I was 9 years old. On this day 15 years ago, the movie Cars was released in theaters. I don't recall seeing the film on opening day, but I do think I saw it within the first maybe 3 to 5 days of its release. And then this main story takes place a couple of days or so after that. So mid to late June of 2006 is where our story takes place. I wish I could say I remember the exact date, but just to establish some context. So, saw the movie in theaters with my parents. A few days later, around 11 p.m., midnight or so, my dad's girlfriend, who's no longer, she moved out a long time ago. They're not together anymore. She came upstairs around 11 p.m., midnight-ish, woke my dad up, and by extension me, because I was sleeping at the time. I was only 9. Woke him up to explain that she was hurt and she needed him. So come to find out, she was outside in the backyard on the concrete smoking a cigarette, and I guess she tripped and fractured her pinky or something like that. So he carried her downstairs, plopped her on the couch, and they tried to figure out what to do. Somewhere in the midst of this situation, they start fighting and arguing about a myriad of other things that are completely irrelevant to the situation at hand, and they were up all night arguing, and I was up most of the night myself. I tried dozing off for a little bit, and I woke up again around 5 a.m., sweating, hyperventilating, because I was nervous and scared, and they were fighting and everything. Tried going back to sleep again, woke up around 9 a.m., went downstairs, and she was sitting there with her hand up like this, wrapped in a washcloth, in a lot of pain, and she proceeded to get me into the car and drive me up to my grandparents' house. One hand on the steering wheel, the other hand up like this, again with a washcloth, because she was in so much pain and she could barely move it. When we pull up to my grandparents' house, my grandfather, rest in peace Papa, was outside in the driveway getting something out of his trunk, and he could see that she was visibly distraught, so he decided to take her to the hospital. Shortly thereafter, my uncle shows up, so then it's just me, my uncle, and my grandma. And my grandma sends me and my uncle into town for pizza and soda. Maroni's Pizza. If you ever come to Scranton, they are an institution in this community. They just got sold. I don't know if they'll stay open, but I think they'll definitely have new owners because they just got sold. But if they stay open, you got to check them out if you come to Scranton. They're an institution in this area. So she sends us out for pizza and soda. On the way back to her house, a familiar melody funnels its way out of the broken speakers of my uncle's 1989 navy blue Cadillac Seville and funnels its way into my ears. I decide to turn up the dial, turn up the volume to figure out what it is. And it's Life is a Highway by Rascal Flatts, which I had just heard in the Cars movie a few days prior. I don't know why. I don't think I'll ever know why. But the fact that I heard the song in the movie and was now hearing on the radio, something just clicked in my 9-year-old head where I thought that was the most amazing thing ever, the most amazing coincidence ever, and I couldn't stop talking about it. I guess in hindsight, it was just the right song at the right time. It could have been any other song, any other artist, but actually, no. It had to be that. It had to be that song. So this newfound obsession of mine drives me to spend the remainder of that summer going out of my way to find the song and listen to it as often as I could. This results in me camping out in my dad's bedroom every night until bedtime, listening to his boombox, his radio that he had on his dresser. Tuned into Froggy 101 and 93.7, the other country station in this area, now known as Nash FM. I forget what it was called before. But everyone knows Froggy 101, right, from The Office. It's another big part of Scranton lore. So, by the grace of the Lord, Life is a Highway would always come on, along with other Rascal Flatts songs. And in the long hours that I spent toiling trying to find the song and find Rascal Flatts, I was introduced to a bevy of other artists. Carrie Underwood, Keith Urban, Brad Paisley, Kenny Chesney, Sugarland, Brooks and Dunn, and a young lady named Taylor Swift, who would come to have a few important pages in the story of my life in her own right later on in the future. So this also compelled me to start watching the CMT's Top 20 music video countdown to hear Life is a Highway and other Rascal Flatts songs. And I was introduced to country music even further, and I fell in love with country music. Watching CMT's Top 20 countdown compelled me to watch VH1's Top 20 countdown and watch TRL, which introduced me to a whole new ocean of music that I wouldn't have bothered to check out otherwise. And I'm acting like it's some big discovery for pop and rock music, but I mean, I had no inclination to check anything out when I was a kid, so these new pastimes of mine introduced me to so many artists that I would fall in love with. Daughtry, Soccer Mom music, I know. 3 Days Grace, another very important band in my life. 3 Doors Down, Linkin Park, rest in peace, Chester. Matchbox 20, Lifehouse, stuff like that. Maroon 5 was another big one at the time. And it can all be traced back to Rascal Flatts and Life is a Highway. And of course, as the band keeps releasing new music themselves, I follow along and listen to it and love it, and my love for Rascal Flatts themselves deepened even further. Fast forward to 2008, and my grandma goes to get her hair done at the local hair salon, and come to find out that the lady who owns and operates the hair salon, her daughter was Rascal Flatts hairstylist, and her daughter was in the hair salon at the time. So my grandma pulled some strings and got me this. Look at this right here. This is my most prized possession. I got this for my 11th birthday. It says, "Happy birthday, Seamus." It's personalized. Let me get you a better view of this. Signed by all 3 members of the band. Jodan, Gary, Jay. And that was amazing. She also got me 3 tickets and meet and greet passes to see them live. And on Saturday, August 23rd, 2008, Kobe Bryant's birthday, rest in peace, GOAT, I got to see Rascal Flatts in concert and meet them. And Taylor Swift opened for them. So Taylor Swift has the distinction of being the first artist I ever saw live in concert. And I saw her when she was still relatively unknown. And here's the picture with me and my dad that we took with Rascal Flatts. Gary, Jodan, my dad, Jay, and 11-year-old me. The most amazing moment of my life. I don't even remember what exactly I said to them. I think what I wanted to say was like some combination of, "Hi, I'm your biggest fan, yada yada." But I don't even remember what exactly I blurted out. I was just too starstruck. And it's a feeling of euphoria and excitement and amazement that can never be replicated. It's the greatest moment of my life. And they put on a great show. I got to see them again later on October 7th, 2016. That was the second time I saw them. And of course, as they keep releasing new music periodically every year, 2 years, whatever, I follow along happily and listen to it religiously, and their music saved my life. Their music taught me to be comfortable in my own skin. Their music taught me to not be jealous. Their music taught me to appreciate who I have and what I have while it lasts, because it won't last forever, and to never miss an opportunity. There's a song on their Feels Like Today album called Then I Did, and one of the lines reads, "You talked me out of giving up on myself so many times." And that perfectly encapsulates what their music means to me and what it's done for me. Their music always talked me out of giving up on myself. Their music always inspired me to push through whatever transgressions were going on in my life, and their music did so much more than comfort and console me. Their music challenged me and empowered me to be a better person. And there were a lot of periods in my life where I look back and I don't recognize the person I used to be. I was a straight up asshole. There were things I did and things I said to people that I don't just wish I could take them back. I wish I could kick that former version of myself in the nuts because he was an asshole. But Rascal Flatts saw me through it. They put their they essentially put their arm around my shoulder and taught me that, this too shall pass, and there's always a chance to learn and grow and do better and try again. And boy, did I learn. And their music was there at pretty much every critical juncture of my life. My sister and I danced to My Wish at my sister's wedding. In 2017, they released their final album, Back to Us. Thank you, Maria, my friend, for this signed copy, which came out May 19, 2017, a couple days after I started my first job and got my heart broken by a girl who I had been courting for a few months. She finally agreed to go out with me. A couple days later, I start my first job, and I get a text from her that same day. Not a text from her that same day. I go to text her that same day. Come to find, she blocked me on everything, and she sicked her friend on me to explain it all. And my heart was broken. And there's a song on this album called Are You Happy Now? That talks about a man who gets his heart broken, but he realizes and understands that what goes around comes back around, and that what she's done to him will happen to her down the road, and that she'll feel the pinch of her mistake for doing someone else wrong, the way that had happened to me in that moment. Their music has helped me through everything. I don't think I'd be here today without it. So what I implore of you guys is there anybody, anything in your life that you love this much? Is there anyone you look up to? Is there any hobbies, writing, singing, painting, poetry? Is there anything in your life that makes you feel alive? Is there anybody in your life, a sibling, a significant other, a parent, or whatever, that makes you feel so alive and makes you feel like life is worth living? Because that's what Rascal Flatts music means to me. Their music gave me the confidence of a fighter and the humble perspective of a young adult who still has a lot more to learn. It's too bad that they announced a farewell tour and then that got canceled by COVID. So only time will tell if they'll just break up or they'll stay together, or they'll recommence the farewell tour and then break up. But I hope they do at least one more tour, so I can see them live at least one more time and scream my lungs out to all those iconic hits like I did when I was younger. And I hope I get one more chance to shake their hands and, even for just 30 seconds, tell them how much their music means to me. Your music does so much more. They do way much more than sing and write and play instruments and produce. And that's another thing that I got bullied for listening to their music when I was a kid, and they got derided as a country boy band with frosted tips and gaudy fashion. But it's like they were very serious, multifaceted musicians. They are serious, multifaceted musicians with a bevy of skills, and they all sing, they all write, they all produce, they all play instruments. They're just a talented group of guys, and I aspire to be like them, not just in their musicianship, but in their conduct as humans. No one can say a bad word about them. They're the perfect role models, in my opinion. So, again, what I ask you guys is there anything in your life that you love this much? I hope. I hope if there isn't already someone or something in your life like that, I hope you find it, because if these guys' music can do this much for me, I'm sure you guys can find something like that too. But I think I'm gonna stop it here before I get too carried away with my emotions. Rascal Flatts, Gary, Jay, Jodan, if you ever see this, thank you. Your music saved my life. I wouldn't be here without it. Thank you for everything. Thank you for being the soundtrack to my life. Thank you for making me the person I am, helping shape the person I am. I love you now like I loved you then. It's been 15 years, and my love and appreciation for you has not faded one iota. It's only grown and strengthened over time. Life really is a highway, and there's no other soundtrack I'd rather have to guide me through it than Rascal Flatts. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell to get notified next time I upload, because I have many more special videos coming very, very, very soon. And again, Rascal Flatts, Gary, J. Jodan, I love you. Thank you. You guys saved my life.